I have finally finished my reread of Lady Knight by Tamora Pierce, which is the 4th book in the Protector of the Small Quartet. Tamora Pierce is a primarily young adult fantasy author publishing between 1983 and 2018. I did my video about my thoughts on Protector of the Small before doing my reread. This video is after my reread, and I have 3 things that I want to talk about. Number 1, is Keldry of Mindlin an asexual, aromantic protagonist? 2, was I wrong about the legality of Lady Knighthood in the Kingdom of Tortall, where these stories take place? And 3, how do I feel about The Protector of the Small, rereading it again more than 20 years after the first time I read it? We're going to start with what Tamora Pierce says about Keldry's sexuality on her website. Question: what's Kel's sexuality? Does she ever have a romance with Dom? Tamora Pierce: I've gotten this question a lot over the years, and my response was always that I'm still thinking about it. And I've been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it for a long, long time. While I've been thinking about it, Kel has been living her life. While she's been doing all the work, we've both discovered that she doesn't really have the time for or interest in romance. Her inclination for it has faded as time goes on, and I have come to understand that she may in fact simply be uninterested in romance. She is now, anyway. Kel has come to a space in her life where she finds that she's not interested in romantic or physical relationships with anybody. Friendships? Yes. She thrives on friendships and family-type relationships, but romantic ones leave her feeling confused, and the older Kel gets, the messier it all seems. She may have enjoyed kissing well enough when she did it, but lately, whenever the thought occurs to her, it's outweighed by all of the other things she could be doing with her time, and the interest fades soon enough. In short, Kel is both aromantic and asexual. So from the mouth of the author, that fairly well settles it. Now, when you read the books, all of this, okay, before I go any further, sorry, spoilers. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for checking this out. If you don't know this series, if you don't know this author, I know that's the kind of thing that people do. It's the kind of thing that I do, so I definitely appreciate you being here. Spoilers, that's your only warning. I don't know what I'm going to say. We're both going to find out together. So going forward, my opinion. When I was a 12, 13-year-old reading this series, and I had already read at least 2 of the other Tamora Pierce series. Tamora Pierce's characters all pretty much end up with a life partner of some kind, and it stood out to me that Kel did not at the end of her series. At the end of Lady Knight, she is excited to go and see one of her old friends who she had a crush on before. That's Dom as asked. So the book closes out with a maybe, and that's part of why people would ask for years and years, what's the deal? Now knowing asexuality, aromance, ace is Kel's disposition, when I read it, I wanted to see if that sort of holds true with what's actually in the books. My verdict is yes, but reading it, knowing that she is ace, her best friend calls her aromantic in the very first book. He says, when he realized her eyes were on him, he smiled. Isn't this a great time to be alive? He asked. Stormwings and spydrons to fight, beings from legends arrayed at our sides, people in need of protection, and us being prepared to do it. Nothing happened in King Rold's time, and everything's happening now. We'll be sung about. Our names will be passed on to our descendants. It's going to take a lot of work, that's for certain, she replied with a shrug. Neal propped his chin on one hand and gazed at her. You aren't a bit romantic, are you? He asked, amused. She sat back and stared at him. She was beginning to think that Neal required a keeper. He seemed to have the craziest ideas. Romance? Isn't that love stuff? She asked finally. It's more than just love. It's color and fire. You don't want things magnificent and filled with grandeur, he said, trying to make her understand. You know, drama, importance, transcendent passion. I just want to be a knight, Kel retorted, putting her used tableware on her tray. Eat your vegetables. They're good for you. I know that when Tamora Pierce wrote that, she wasn't thinking about Kel being aromantic, but it stands out to me that Kel and Neal seem to have realized it in the story pretty early on, even if Tamora Pierce herself didn't. Going through the book, in Page, the second book, Page, Kel develops a crush on Neal. She's about 12 and he's 5 years older than her. And then we get into Squire, possibly the one I love the most. And her crush on Neal just evaporates after she spends half a year without seeing him at all. And then in this book, though, it seems like her little crushiness has transferred to Neal's cousin, Dom. Dom, it's not clear how old he is, but I think he's got to be 8 or 9 years older than her. When she's 14 to 17 through most of that third book, there's no way it would be appropriate for him to show interest in her, and he doesn't. Like Kel, he's focused on his job. He's a soldier in the king's own. He respects her. He accepts from the beginning that she is a fighter and she will carry her own weight in the same way that Neal did. Her only 2 crushes through the whole series are on Neal, her best friend, and her best friend's cousin, who is very like him. It's not clear exactly what the history background is between Neal and Dom, but they are clearly very close. So Kel basically only has attraction that's tinkling skin is about as much as it gets to. It's narratively stated that she spends time thinking about them, but no actual narrative time is spent on dwelling on their looks or dreaming about what could be or wishful thinking. Kel is focused on her work. She's not trying to be attracted to anybody. It's just sort of, she's between the ages of 12 and 18 while these things are happening. Body is changing and doing its own thing irrespective of our intentions. And here's my thing. I think she crushed on those 2 fellows because they were safe. In that space, in that time, they were safe. She knew consciously she didn't want to pursue a relationship with them. She certainly emotionally valued the relationships with them without a romantic element. In my head canon, after the end of Lady Night, where Kel sees Dom at this wedding ceremony for what is her knight commander, his knight commander, her former knight commander, that her crush will have evaporated, just like her crush on Neal did when she spent long enough away from him, and just like her sweetheart romance with Cleon evaporated once she spent a long time away from him with nothing but letters to keep their feelings for each other going. Cleon, in the book Squire, Kel has this sweetheart, Cleon. It was a safe romance. He was a chivalrous, honorable young man, a couple of years older than her. It was clear in Page that he was starting to be attracted to her, and it was startling to him because it's not what he expected. If you just read these books and you don't know that Kel is going to realize she's aromantic, asexual, it's very heteronormative. She expects that one day she will want to hook up with somebody. She expects that one day she will want to have a home. She expects that one day she will want to have children. But for right now, she's working to be a knight, and she doesn't want to be a lady knight dragging a child around wherever she goes. Kel is always honorable in her choices, so she really doesn't have anything to regret, I think, as far as Cleon. Yeah, that. Is she? Yeah, I think she is. But if you don't know it going in, you could definitely leave the series thinking that she is going to end up hooking up with Dom, because that would be more in line with her previous books, with the fact that most of the characters end up pairing up with somebody. And then, so my second point, so this is going to be quicker from here. So my second point, the legality of Lady Knights in Tortall. I said in my pre-reread video that I might have been wrong in my first video that I recorded when I said that it was not illegal for women to pursue knighthood. It was not socially acceptable, and therefore women did not. Any video you watch, almost any video you watch on YouTube talking about Song of the Lioness or Protector of the Small by Tamora Pierce, many of the things that you'll read, both scholarly, blog articles, I think even also on TV tropes, it all says that it was illegal for women to be knights when Ilana disguised herself as a boy to become a knight, and then Kel became a lady knight after the king made the proclamation that girls could become knights. It was not illegal. That is the ground I'm standing on. It was not illegal in the kingdom of Tortall for a woman to pursue her knighthood at any point. There's a few reasons I feel this way. Number one, in the Song of the Lioness, at no point is Ilana stressed out about the fact that she's breaking the law. She's stressed out about a lot of things. She's stressed out about perhaps somebody ever finding out her secret that she is a girl disguised as a boy, but she's never worried about the legality of it. Particularly first test. First test is mostly where it comes up, and it's just referred to as a proclamation. It's not about the lifting of a ban. It's not about the ending of a prohibition. It is the king making it clear, yes, girls can, noble girls can pursue knighthood. And finally, my reasoning is, I think it would be hard to make a law saying no girls can't be knights. There's a difference between making a law that says one gender cannot do something, one gender must or may do something, than to allow social pressure to say, yeah, you could sign up, but you're never going to finish the program because they won't let you finish the program. Parents will kick their girls out. Parents will not supply what their child needs in order to pursue this. That's all you have to do. Just don't supply a child with what they need to pursue what they want, and it's not going to happen. That's all you had to do with the girls. It doesn't have to be a law saying girls can't. And also, 200 or 300 years before this story took place, there was a religious shift where the mother goddess figure, her warrior aspect, was sort of reduced in favor of her gentle mother aspect. That's actually explored in the Becca Cooper series. So that groundwork is laid there for when there were Lady Knights, this social transition to, we don't want Lady Knights, we don't need Lady Knights, we're not at war anymore. Leave the war to the men who like these things. You women have other things to do. I do not think it was illegal for Alanna to pursue her knighthood. It was just not acceptable for a woman to pursue knighthood. So Alanna disguised herself and ran, so that Kel could do this marathon of proving that a girl without magic, a girl without the hand of a god on her, could also become a Lady Knight, just like they used to do. That's point number 2. And point number 3, how do I feel about the series? I love it more than ever. From a writing perspective, I have more critiques of it than I ever did from a writing perspective, but I wouldn't really change anything about it. It's the story that it needed to be told at the time that it was told. This story is somewhat of a response to the Song of the Lioness. This series is somewhat of a response to real world events that were going on at the turn of the century. I am going to do a video discussing each one of these books with more summary, more exploration, plot detail, and things I think about each one in particular, but I just wanted to do this so that I'm not feeling like I need to address her asexuality in each one, because it's really not present. But at the same time, if you know that she is, it's absolutely supported in the text that was written more than 20 years ago, in my opinion. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking this out. I hope you choose to read these books. If you're already familiar with these books, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one.